Coming out victorious in any sport is what all athletes dream and train for. They go the extra mile and prepare for longer periods of time prior to the competitions, and Max Verstappen is not an exception to this. His journey to victory is not, at the very least, easy. Before we get into the juicier details, we need to know who Max Verstappen is. Born in Hasselt, Belgium in 1997, Max Verstappen is considered the youngest F1 competitor ever under Red Bull's racing team, competing since he was 17 years old. He took the Toro Rosso and then the Red Bull by the horns with his instinctive racing style. He then debuted under the Red Bull racing team and competed in Barcelona in 2016. Considered the youngest, highest point scorer on the team, with an opportunistic but controlled drive when he's debuted. It did not take long for him to be recognized as the youngest race winner at age 18 and 228 days. He was known to be a true wheel-to-wheel racer. His performance in Brazil was exceptional, especially as he shows off his skills on a wet track and kept the praises coming. He was a young, promising driver, so naturally a lot was to be expected from this so-called prodigy. Max's babyface is not to be underestimated. However, as racing runs through his genes, being the son of former F1 driver Jos Verstappen and super quick karting mom Sophie Kumpen, his exceptional skills were recognized as one of the most outstanding race performances with his age range. Although this is a fact, Max had continuously proved himself to all that he is more than just his parents' outstanding race gene carrier. In a short period of time, as quickly as he pushed through his car, his rivals, and the sport's records to its highest limit, Verstappen was also known to have a no-holds-barred attitude, and hard defending sometimes landed him in hot water with his peers and paymasters. But the misunderstandings that initially marred his potential have given way to maturity, while his bravado and prodigy-like skills remain to be on the spotlight. Max's starting performance in the Miami Grand Prix, which was held on May 9, 2022, was admittedly not his best, as he found himself losing against both Ferraris in the qualifying round. Together with Sergio Perez, they were not having the best results when the Miami Grand Prix started. Ferrari had the advantage with Charles Leclerc on the starting together with his teammate Carlos Sainz, who was alongside him on the second row. During the qualifying, Verstappen lost to both Ferraris given that he made a mistake on his final Q3 run after an upsetting first day of practice. However, the Dutchman had learned from the mistakes he had done in the past races as he bounced back in the race, going past Carlos Sainz and pushing past Charles Leclerc, as he had both observed and was informed that Leclerc was struggling with his front right tires of his racing car. This gave Verstappen the chance to be in the lead for the next additional laps on the medium rubber. Sergio Perez, Verstappen's teammate, had the opportunity to take Sainz spot on the podium. However, when the Red Bull's boss, Christian Horner, suggested P2 was possible, a sensor problem caused Perez to lose track and drop power. Despite a safety car in the closing stages due to Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly's collision, Verstappen resisted Leclerc's improved pace on the hard compound hold onto the win, his second in the row that day. Noting these wins, Verstappen was able to come out as victorious in the Miami Grand Prix, finishing this season with 26 points, overshadowing Leclerc's as his own championship was cut down to 19 points. After the race, Verstappen told the media that despite not getting to practice the whole weekend prior to the competition due to developments made to his car and little technicalities, he considered his start very good. However, he also noted during that race he had observed a lot of struggling with his opponent's car, especially Leclerc's from the tire, and had used it as a chance to get past him in the end. While doing so, it was a relief to him that he was lucky enough that he could open up his gap and come faster in the next additional laps. It was not easy to prepare for the qualifying held on May 9th, especially since the drivers only had one practice session prior to the event, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, which was held the weekend before, which led to shorter practice sessions. The Red Bulls were particularly busy that weekend, as they swiftly added significant upgrades on Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez's racing cars. Focusing on the underside of their car, this was truly effective as a double evolution for the team, as the RB18 not only went on a diet, but also took various aerodynamic changes. Now you might have wondered, what specific developments were added to the cars by the Red Bull racing team? Well, the developments were solely focused on the area under the chassis, which then made the airflow split, that consisted of an additional fin, has been applied, bearing similarities to the Ferrari's F175 and the Aston Martin AMR22. This development aims to increase efficiency of the Venturi channels, located at the bottom of the car. Although appearing invisible, this makes it 4 kilograms lighter than before. The car reportedly weighs 15 kilograms less than its first winter test with this added development. As Verstappen was interviewed after the race, he stated that there were crucial moments within the race. He acknowledges that his comeback was indeed very good, since he told the press that he did not know what to expect at the actual start, although they had a good launch. He also stated, "I saw the opportunity to go around the outside of Sainz, so I tried and luckily it worked. And then I just tried to see the pace of Charles in front of me. I think Charles started to struggle a bit more with the front tires, and it seemed like our car was very good on the medium compound. Once I got ahead, I think that I basically made my race, because I opened up the gap when we pitted and we put the hard tire on. We were actually very closely matched in pace." The crucial part of his performance during the race, he admitted, was trying to get the gap between himself and the other drivers. He was elated to have succeeded in the end. Furthermore, Verstappen's reaction to the safety car scare was quite intriguing. When confronted about Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly's collision, Verstappen expressed his relief. He stated, "I was not happy with that, but it was fully understandable with what happened." He had also told the press that people should not be too disappointed with the safety car, as it has benefited him in past races as well. Verstappen also acknowledged how difficult the race would be from the very start. He noted that the race was pretty physical, and the next 10 laps would be uncertain for his chances if he had not decided to flat out. He also admitted that he was under pressure against Leclerc at the restart, as he initially struggled with the tire temperature. "I was sliding around a bit too much for my liking, but then, once the tires came back up to temperature, I think I had a little bit more pace, and I pulled him out of the DRS, which is very crucial," he told the press afterwards. He was trying everything to try and have a go, and it was not easy to stay ahead, because it's easy to make a mistake around here in certain places. Joe Verstappen had told the press that his son's frustration, quoted as a bit irritable feeling, Max had felt in the start was understandable. The reigning world champion's running was restrained on the first day of practice, located in the all-new Miami International Autodrome, which was caused by the cooling delays and a subsequent hydraulic issue. After succeeding in winning the Miami Grand Prix against Ferrari, Joe Verstappen was delighted with the results, as he witnessed his son bounce back and claim his second win. What an insanely good result for Max in Miami, Joe had declared in his latest blog on the official Max Verstappen website. He continued to note, "He looked very strong again during the race after a difficult start on the weekend. Problems with the car on Friday meant he got very little practice, and you need that time to adjust the car, especially on a new street circuit. I could understand why he was a bit irritable. It was a shame he made a mistake in qualifying, but that can happen. It didn't help that he didn't know the track as well as he normally does." Urging to get on top of reliability problems, Red Bull continues to be on top. As of the moment, Max Verstappen had won all the races he had finished in 2022, given he had retired from front-running positions in Bahrain, noting that Sergio Perez also dropped out, and Australia. Joe Verstappen advised the Red Bull racing team to make sure that no further issues arise in his son and his team, especially if they are bound to go against Ferrari for this year's remaining titles. "It can go either way, but it's clear that you can't just have any DNFs," added the former F1 driver. "If the reliability of the Red Bull proves to be good, then I think Max will have another strong season, and we will have a thrilling duel between him and Leclerc. Then it's really a question of which team will develop the car better, and which upgrades will work best." Verstappen's victory is only one of many examples that hardships will always be present when trying to get to the top. However, this does not mean that you'll not be able to do something about it, but rather, you only need to strive harder than you've ever did before. Make sure you stay connected, and we'll see you in the next one.